I like reading this guy's articles. He has a very different perspective in the way he brings these stories. So Stephen Totilo says, new for years, Xbox execs promised to end their platform's game droughts. Yeah, Xbox game drought. I faintly remember people having alluded to that in the PS4 days. Since 2018, Microsoft aggressively expanded its roster of studios. In 2025, it paid off with a loaded year with games. Unclear, given the rest of Xbox's 2025, if they'll do it again. This is a very good analysis, and I haven't read the article yet, but I will say, can they pull it off again? I think they can, but it's not going to be the norm. However, the new normal is not going to be far off from this. What they pulled off in 2025. That's almost a certainty. In 2019, for example, Mahmoudi, the head of Xbox Game Studios, told IGN that we'd love to be feeding a high-quality game into Game Pass about every 3 months. Hey! In 2023, Booty, as head of head of games at Microsoft, told the Fourth Curtain podcast that the company had a goal of a big game, a new release, something significant, going out 4 times a year. He added, "It feels like we're getting there." This year, they've done it. By the end of 2025, Microsoft's army of game studios, including 2 large groups of teams acquired in the past half-decade, will have collectively released the biggest slate of games in Xbox's history. Content delivery, baby. I was telling every single one of you, that is where Xbox has the opportunity, and that's where they're going to dominate. They have content ranging from everything. I mean, you can't look left. You cannot look right in the gaming space without finding something that you want to play in Xbox's roster. I don't know. You'd have to be a really picky gamer, and I'm a picky gamer. That's why I'm saying this with a lot of confidence. You want to tell me that there is nothing Xbox has launched since Indiana Jones as of December last year till now that you actually have an interest in playing? Or that they have something that they put on Game Pass that was even mildly interesting or at least caught your attention? Or you bought it in your ecosystem. You didn't have to play it on Xbox, but at least that combination is just so interesting at the end of the day. So he keeps writing here. And this is actually very cool. This one makes it really interesting at the end, when you put it all together. That big slate includes major releases in winter: Avowed, spring Doom the Dark Ages, summer Gears of War Reloaded. Oh, you missed Elder Scrolls Remastered. And fall the Outer Worlds. It includes smaller, more experimental games: South of Midnight, Keeper, and blockbusters Call of Duty, Black Ops 7. It also includes elaborate premium price remakes. Oh, there it is. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered and polished old school compilations, the retro classics. The output has delivered a load of new Microsoft published games to subscribers of the highest tier of its Game Pass subscription service. And as the chart atop shows, this article shows, Microsoft's video game output in 2025 has picked up in a way that's commensurate with the recent rapid expansion of its network of development studios. Let's go back away from reader view. This is it. This is crazy. Look at this. 2021, 22 was flat, 23, and people said 23, they didn't do anything. 24, and then 25. That's wild. That is wild. Microsoft bought game studios in recent years. These studios are now releasing games. Organic. They nurtured them from the ground up. There are caveats to this question and about whether Microsoft's pace is sustainable. They don't need to worry about the pace. They've gone ahead to achieve exactly what those studios are supposed to do, which is increase the content available on Game Pass. Remember, Stalker 2 is going away from Game Pass, and it spent a less time span on Game Pass than other games usually do. But guess what? You're not going to really miss it. That right there is now Xbox's strength on Game Pass. If every year they can put 4 to 5 of their own games on Game Pass and increase the Xbox library, I think that's probably what they're going to shoot for. They won't need to depend on third-party games. They'll just have a flow of games and a backlog of games waiting to happen every single time on their own ecosystem. But for now, it's good that they're partnering because you get a variety. I'm sure they're learning as well. Right? 2025 was a big year for Microsoft game releases, but an alarming one for Microsoft. Wide reports of layoffs, a studio closure, canceled projects, and price hikes. At least for now, one of the most prolific game publishers in the industry. Well, I said that before, ladies and gentlemen. They have 4 publishers underneath them. That was expected by anybody who was paying attention to the gaming industry. I was. Were you? All we ate was downplay, downplay, downplay. Yet, PlayStation is on silent. You can't even hear static from the PlayStation camp. It's all silence. That's what you're hearing. And yet, with the talk of Ghost of Yotian or whatever, they've already abandoned and forgotten the game. The games are as forgettable as anything these days. And don't get me wrong, many games are forgettable, including games from Xbox. Xbox knows that. They know gamer amnesia. So what are they doing? Content dumpy and collating them in a place where you can't easily forget them, which is the Game Pass platform. Right here, right now, the defining moment is now unveiling because it was already a thing a while back. It's not like, oh, this defining moment just showed up out of nowhere. Oh, no. The defining moment was already there. The defining moment was already there. The question is, were people willing to see it, or were they wanting to just go ahead and bury their heads in the sand as they've always done? Because I and many others have been asking these questions. Where is anything else that anyone is doing to compete? And they've handed Xbox this W. All the downplaying, you guys helped them learn to optimize exactly against the things that, they didn't, against the things that would basically ruin their business, and now basically sharpen themselves to exactly what's going to enhance their business. Content's always been the main priority. Don't let anybody fool you. That's why PlayStation has been paying money or had been looking for ways to pay money to block content from Xbox. Because they always knew that content was key, and Xbox knew that. But it invested majority of its funds into its studios as it was acquiring them. This is why you're seeing them here today. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, this whole thing has shifted very fast. You can sell boxes, you can sell consoles, but if there are no games to play on those consoles are basically pointless. Or you can have games, and gamers will play your games. And if they ever choose that they want to buy your console, they know that they're buying your console because they have the inherent value of, say it again, games.